So no matter what comes up, no matter what the message is, if you don't like it, you have the power to change it. You have the power to change the path that you're on or change the outcome of the path that you're on. At the end of the day, it's always you who decides. You decide if you're going to take charge. You decide if you're going to let other people influence what you say, think, or do. And while I am not perfect at this myself, I always believe that at the end of the day, you should be doing what makes you happy. If there's love and light and joy and happiness involved, then follow that path. Do your best not to let anything hold you back from that path. And if you're not on that path, do something about it. This is the Energy Within podcast, all about accessing, nurturing, and building your energy and confidence so that you can get unstuck and design your life the way you want. My name is Carrie Jokala. I am your host. I am a Reiki master, a fitness instructor, a wife, a mom to 2 little boys, and this is episode 101, recorded kind of quietly because I'm recording this at kind of the last minute for September 1st. And it's actually my birthday today, August 31st. And the boys are finally sleeping right outside this room. And I don't want to wake them up because I have a small window with which to record today's episode before we have to go do a few things later tonight. But I'll crank up the gain when I edit this. Well, first of all, thank you again so much for being here. We have crossed the 100 episode mark, so many more episodes to come, and I'm so excited to have you along on this journey. Today, I wanted to talk a little bit about the phrase, take what resonates and leave what doesn't. So that's something I've been hearing a lot more often since I began my journey with Reiki. Anytime anyone does card pulls or really anything with energy work, the phrase is always take what resonates and leave what doesn't. So it could mean that maybe a message comes up and it's maybe not really for you, or maybe it's something that doesn't resonate right now, but perhaps down the road, all of a sudden you'll go, hey, I remember something about that came up in one of my card pulls or during my Reiki session, and then it'll make sense. Or maybe it just plain doesn't mean anything to you and it just doesn't resonate and that's the end of it. So the first thing is I just really want that to be clear anytime you go into anything like this, where if something is being told to you, something is being picked up on, but it really doesn't resonate or it doesn't make sense to you, that's okay. It doesn't mean that maybe you've done anything wrong or that you're misinterpreting something. If it doesn't resonate, it doesn't resonate. But on the flip side of that, when something does resonate, run with it. Dive deeper into it. Try to figure out more about what it means, why it came up, especially if it's something that you kind of already knew was there and you hadn't been facing up to it. That's your sign to dig deeper. Now, I'll give you a little example. This was a long time ago, but just through a Facebook Live video, I had a card pulled for me once where I was honestly a little disappointed because I was hoping for some grand message, some confirmation that maybe I'm on the right path. And my card was, drink more water. And I'm like, okay, thank you. Now, it's true. I did then, and I still do now, need to drink more water. I've been doing better lately, but at the time, that wasn't really the message I wanted to hear. And it wasn't even like I got a bad message that I didn't want to hear. It was just, it didn't do anything for me. It resonated because it was true, but it didn't resonate in the sense of, it didn't answer what was going on for me at the time. But I also understand that as trivial and small that might seem in terms of guidance, drinking more water can help in a lot of ways. If you're keeping the energy flowing through you, you keep your energy levels up by drinking more water. You keep your spiritual energy flowing and you just feel better physically, so then you feel better emotionally. It can help guide you toward that path. But it really wasn't, it was disappointing. It's like I wanted a message of like, the door to money is opening up or something like that. But that's okay. You move on to the next. You take what little nuggets you can get, if any. If not, no big deal. And you move on. What I've found is when you're getting a card read or you're having energy work done, it depends on how open you are, really, for the messages to be effective, for what's being picked up on to be effective. I always tell people that you don't have to tell me anything you don't want to. That is perfectly okay. But if you can clue me in on at least the topic or, a little bit of something that's going on, it can help me make sense of what I'm picking up on or what cards showed up, especially if there have been some situations recently where I did card pulls and 2 cards came up in the same line to show, for example, maybe where the person is currently. And on the surface, these 2 cards seem like they contradict each other. So it wouldn't make sense. Why did these 2 cards show up next to each other? But if I know what's going on, then I can help interpret, well, maybe this part of this meaning from the card is why this showed up. Or maybe it's a sign that, the meaning from this first card is working its way out, and that's why this one showed up. So it means that you're kind of in the middle of working through this and you're on the upswing or something like that. Or maybe it's just that, this is happening, but in order for that to fully come to fruition, you need to face up to this other thing that just showed up, if that makes sense. I always tell people too, like, I don't consider myself to be a psychic. I don't feel like I'm at a point where I can pick up on what you're going through or how you're feeling about it. I can pick up on what your energy feels like. I can tell you what I'm sensing in each of your chakras or what images showed up, or if Jesus did something during the session. Jesus is my Reiki master guide, in case you don't know that. I'm not sure if I've mentioned that on the podcast or not. I might have. And I can tell you what the cards mean, and I can maybe infer a little bit of what's going on. But if you're more willing to at least fill in on the topic, it helps with the interpretation. As another example, I had a card come up in a full spread that I knew the topic, but this card really didn't make sense to me. And it was one where I shuffled again just to be sure, and that same card popped out. So I'm like, okay, this is the card. And I did my best to interpret what I thought it might mean based on the other cards that came up in the situation that the cards were pulled around. But then the person filled me in afterwards it was one of the card readings that I do by email, so I didn't have this person right in front of me as we were pulling the cards. She filled me in afterwards that there was something going on that did relate directly to that card. So then knowing that, well, yeah, that must be why that popped up. And then it makes more sense. So it's kind of a two-way communication thing, but it's always up to you as well, how you interpret it, what resonates with you, and what you decide to do with that information. You can do nothing with it. You can do everything with it. So no matter what energy modality you're working with, no matter what person you're working with, what healer you've gone to, what card deck you're having cards pulled from, always remember, even if this person that you're going to for the work doesn't tell you this, it's always take what resonates and leave what doesn't. Because again, even if everything is meant to resonate, but some of it doesn't resonate right now, maybe it's because you're not meant to work on everything that came up. You just needed to have the seed planted while you focus on the part that did resonate. It also leads to the fact that you have free will. So no matter what comes up, no matter what the message is, if you don't like it, you have the power to change it. You have the power to change the path that you're on or change the outcome of the path that you're on. At the end of the day, it's always you who decides. You decide if you're going to take charge. You decide if you're going to let other people influence what you say, think, or do. And while I am not perfect at this myself, I always believe that at the end of the day, you should be doing what makes you happy. If there's love and light and joy and happiness involved, then follow that path. Do your best not to let anything hold you back from that path. And if you're not on that path, do something about it. Even something small. Do something about it to change the trajectory. So that leads perfectly into something that I wanted to mention, really for accountability for myself, but also kind of to invite you along. I don't think I'm going to be posting about this every day, but I'm going to try it. And then Yoda comes up into my mind saying, do or do not, there is no try. So, okay, I'm going to, starting tomorrow from the day I record this, September 1st, the day that this podcast launches. So you'll have to check in with the Energy Within group to see if I've posted anything about how day one has gone. I'm going to give this 75 hard thing a shot. I resisted for a while, and then I looked at it, and then I thought about it, and then I resisted again, and then I kind of been thinking about doing it. And now I really think I have to, because it's probably been a couple months at this point since I decided that my new goal for this Christmas, last Christmas was mom jeans by Christmas, to fit into what I call my mom jeans by Christmas, because I was still wearing maternity jeans at the time. I didn't quite make it. I got close, but I didn't make it. So I extended it, and it was either mom jeans by Valentine's Day or St. Patrick's Day. I forget which one it worked out by. But now my current goal is pre-pregnancy jeans by Christmas. So I figure I have enough time to do this. I am a fitness professional, so you'd think I'd be able to do this. But it's like a meme that I saw the other day about, I want to lose weight. I know what things I have to do to lose the weight. And I don't really want to do the things to lose the weight, but I still want to lose the weight. You understand? That's kind of where I'm at. And I figured out the last time that I had actually gained a couple of pounds, I was a little disappointed, because I also thought that I felt like I was looking a little better. My clothes were fitting a little better, but I gained 2 pounds. I'm like, what's going on? I gained 2 pounds of muscle. I actually gained 2 pounds of muscle in a month. So I'm like, okay, that's fine. Because it's not really about the number on the scale, but at the same time, I've been stuck in the same place for a long time. So I want it to start budging a little bit, because it means that I'll be able to fit in my regular size. And even if it's not quite there, I want to be a little more comfortable. So no matter what I've been trying lately, I just can't get anything to budge. So I'm like, okay, even though I know it's not a fitness program specifically, I'm going to give this 75 hard thing a shot, but also because I need more stability and consistency with trying to achieve all of my goals, business-wise, financially, physically, etc. So here's the thing. And this is why this relates with take what resonates and leave what doesn't. So one of the times that I really looked into what 75 hard is about, and I know that it's more of a mental toughness challenge than anything else, one of the things that stopped me from going for it was not necessarily what the rules are. I don't really think they're all that bad. I see what makes it hard. I don't think it's anything too rigid or out of reach for people who really want to do this. And I see people talking about like, oh, why you shouldn't do this. Oh, it's, over the top. It's all or nothing. And I understand that. But at the same time, if you look at what the rules are, I really don't think it's asking that much. What I do think doesn't work for me and doesn't resonate for me are actually 2 things. One, he says, if you modify any of it, if you change any piece of it, you're not doing 75 hard and it doesn't count. And number 2, this idea that if you fall off the wagon, so like if you miss 1 page of the reading assignment, if you are 2 ounces short of a gallon of water, you fail and you have to go back to day 1. Part of me likes that idea and the other part of me rejects that idea. Because for one, a lot of these things are things that I want to have in my lifestyle anyway. And I know I've been able to do in the past, prior to kids, but I've been able to do them in the past. And I want to continue with it anyway. So if I do this, even if I fall short, I'm just going to keep counting the days. So if that means I'm not allowed to use the tracker and someone's going to call me out and say I'm not actually doing 75 hard, that's fine. I don't care. So here's the rules for 75 hard. 2 45-minute workouts. 1 workout must be outdoors. You have to follow a diet. No alcohol or cheat meals. Drink 1 gallon of water. Read 10 pages of nonfiction, and audiobooks do not count. And take a progress pic. So I'm going to go backwards through these. I can take a progress pic. I don't mind reading 10 pages. I actually prefer to read books rather than listen to audiobooks. I love listening to podcasts, but I do not like listening to audiobooks because even during podcasts, I probably shouldn't tell you this. It's me. I wish I had the money to go see Dr. Amen and get my brain scanned, have a brain spec to find out what's going on up there. But my brain wanders. And then if I hear an idea that I like, then my brain starts going off on that idea as if I'm recording a podcast in my brain. And then I lose my place. If my brain wanders while I'm reading, I at least know where I left off because I can look down at where I left off. The pages haven't kept turning. I don't have to worry about figuring out how long my mind has been wandering for. So that I don't mind, that I can do. And I actually proved to myself that I can read an entire book in a week. Maybe a month and a half ago with Darren Hardy's Summer Reset Challenge, where you had to read 1 chapter of one of his books every day for that week. And I don't know why I can't remember the name of the book. I'm blanking on it. But anyway, I proved to myself that I could do that because instead of scrolling my phone while the kids and I snuggled while they got ready to fall asleep, I brought up the book on my phone. I prefer to read a real book, but the convenience factor for me worked in that instance. So drink a gallon of water. I know I can do that. I just need to make myself do it. I've done it in the past. I remember how awesome I felt, and I don't like that I fell off that wagon because I was feeling really good when I got into that habit. No alcohol or cheat meals. I can do that. I've done it before. I'm actually not that big of a drinker anyway. Follow a diet. I'm going to do my best, but I make no promises because I really don't eat all that bad in the first place. I can do better, but that's one thing that I have struggled with for a long time, especially since having kids, is getting meals straight and finding the time to cook the things that I want to cook rather than turning to convenience for sake of time. So I do need to get better about that, but I'm not going to beat myself up about it in the beginning if I don't get it down right away. The workout thing. Okay. So I'm a certified personal trainer. I teach fitness classes. I teach a few classes a week in which I do work out with my class, but I cannot promise 2 workouts a day. And on one hand, depending on what the workouts are, I don't think that that's always a good idea. If one's a walk or yoga or Pilates or something like that, I think that's cool. The part where I think some people can go too far with it could be doing 2 very intense workouts every day. Your body needs rest. I'm a fan of active rest and continuing to move your body in easy, gentle ways so you still get movement, but you're not punishing yourself every day. So I see where people could run with that, and that could be an issue. But time-wise for me, first of all, one of my workouts that I teach is only a half hour. And I'm dead. We're all dead after that half hour. It's a HIIT workout. It's very intense. There's no need to stretch it to 45 minutes. The rest of the days, sometimes I'm able to get in my own other workout. Other times I'm not. Really, my best option is I'm not making this is not a comment on anybody but me, but I need to stop being a wuss, stop hitting the snooze button, and get my butt out of bed at the time that I want to get up before my kids so that I can get a workout in or have that reading time or meditation time, ideally all of them. But it also depends on what time my kids wake up. Yesterday, I had something to do in the morning. I didn't have to get up super early, so it wasn't a huge deal, but JJ slept until 8. Like, I had to go in and wake him up. Today is my birthday. I figured, hey, one more day before I want to start this challenge, I'll just sleep in. Because part of me was like, no, you should practice getting up early. And the other part of me was like, no, it's my birthday. I'm sleeping in. set my alarm for 6:45 just in case I wanted to get up early, but maybe I would hit the snooze button. JJ woke up at 6:38, so that's cool. Whatever, it's fine. So I have that variability that I cannot predict. So I have to be flexible and be able to work with that, and I'm not always able to fit in a workout during the other part of the day, especially if I'm already scheduled to teach a workout. So 2 workouts a day can happen some days of the week, but not every day. So I can't promise that. I have to take what resonates and leave what doesn't. I'm thinking it'll either be Pilates or yoga or something like that in the morning once I get my butt out of bed. And this one of them has to be outdoors thing. I just don't have the luxury of going off outside by myself to go do a workout. I can go take a walk with the kids. We can maybe go down to the lakefront another day and ride the bike Surrey like we did last week, which was a lot of fun and the kids loved it and it was a workout for mommy. But every day, I don't know. Maybe we can try for the walk every day, but I want that me time in the morning too. So I don't know. We'll see. But I can't make a promise there. And that's the thing. That's staying on this take what resonates and leave what doesn't tangent. I understand that the challenge is supposed to be hard. It's supposed to challenge you to do things that you wouldn't ordinarily do. But a lot of this is already stuff that I don't ordinarily do at the moment because it's been hard for a long time to arrange my schedule so that I can get up early because JJ wasn't sleeping through the night or he was getting up way too early, even if he did sleep through the night. So everything's still a little out of whack. So there's still pieces of this that are going to be very challenging for me, very hard. And with the other pieces, I need to be realistic. So that's what I encourage you to do with any part of your life. Take what resonates and leave what doesn't. Don't worry about the part that doesn't. There's no reason to stress yourself out about it. It's kind of like I tell my fitness classes sometimes. Listen to your body, modify as you need to, but do push yourself. So what you have to do is find that balance where you're being realistic, you're listening to your body, you're listening to your intuition, you're taking the cues as you need them, but you're not going so easy on yourself that you're preventing yourself from making progress, that you're preventing yourself from being pushed, from making changes that need to be made so that you don't stay stuck. It's all about not staying stuck. And I'm okay with baby steps, and you should be too. So out of this podcast, out of any podcast you listen to, any book you read, any situation that you're in, take what resonates and leave what doesn't. If one thing works for 10 million people, but it's not going to work for you, or it hasn't worked for you, there's nothing wrong with you. It just means you need something different, and that's okay. If you show up in my Facebook group and I'm doing live card pulls and I pull a card for you and you're like, well, that was stupid. That didn't really fit with anything that's going on in my life. That's okay. I'll feel bad and wish that I had pulled a better card for you. But if it didn't resonate, it didn't resonate. And there's nothing I can do about it. And there's nothing you can do about it. So let's try again and move on. That said, I haven't really had anybody tell me that something didn't resonate. I have had moments where I haven't been filled in on what's going on. So it's made it a little harder for me to interpret some cards that have come up specifically for the person beyond just what the meaning of the card is. But I'd say 99% of every card pull that I've done, these aren't my words, these are theirs. People have been blown away. So take what resonates and leave what doesn't. So, all right, if you would like to follow along, maybe join me on this challenge, modify whatever you want to in it, you can join me inside the Energy Within Facebook group. Like I said, I probably won't be posting every single day. I'm not going to be posting the tracker, but I will post occasional updates because I got to do something. I got to do something to start making some progress here. In all aspects of my life. I am making progress in many aspects, but more progress. So join me inside that group, The link is in the show notes. I will be in there again as often as I'm able to do some more live card pulls, some more group Reiki, meditations. And if you would like to do your own Reiki session with me one-on-one, you can find the link in the show notes for that as well. You can check out testimonials from other people who have done Reiki with me. And stay tuned. I know I keep promising packages for people who want to do multiple sessions, and they would be at a discounted rate within the package. I still have yet to get the back end of that figured out. So stay tuned. But for the meantime, they will be at the current price for a while. So get in while you can. And if you would like your own card reading, a full spread, you have two options: 3 cards that tell you 1 card for where you were, 1 card for where you are, and 1 card for where you're headed. Nobody's chosen that one. Everybody has chosen the 8-card spread, which might still be labeled 7 card because I'm slow and I haven't changed it yet. So if you want that bigger spread, if it says 7, that's the one you want, but it's actually 8. But it's 4 cards that tell you where you are, 3 cards that tell you the path that you're on, and 1 to 2 cards, if I need a clarifier, that tell you the outcome if you stay on that path. And people have been loving those spreads. I have some testimonials up from previous card pulls, and I am intending to get the newer ones from these recent card pulls up so you can see those as well. But all along the same lines, just loving the cards, resonating very much. And I have a note when you go and book that, you'll see it, but I just want to reiterate that you'll need to make sure that you check for the confirm your subscription email so that you can receive the email that you can respond to with what the situation is that you would like the cards pulled around. It can be a general. Again, you don't have to tell me anything you don't want to, but it can be very helpful if you can at least fill me in on the topic. And as many details as you're willing and wanting to give, that's great. But at minimum, if you would like to give me a topic, that can be very helpful in helping me to interpret the cards better for you. But you can find the links for those in the show notes. If you have any issues at all with finding those emails, first of all, check your promotions or your spam folder, especially if you haven't gotten any emails from me in the past. But you can also send me a message on Facebook or Instagram and let me know that, hey, I haven't gotten the emails yet and I can figure out what's going on, and you can just message me your topic that way as well. But ideally, if you get the email, that would be best. So check out the show notes for the links for all of those. Stay tuned for something really, really, really big, a 6-month-long mastermind that's in the works that I'll give you more details on as we get closer to the launch. And I hope to see you inside the Facebook group or following along on my Instagram page. If you enjoyed this episode, if you found any of it helpful, if any of it resonated, please share it. Take a screenshot, do a screen flow, post it on your social media, tag me and let me know what you liked. Help the show reach more people by doing things like that help spread the awareness that this exists. Thank you so much, as always, for being here, and I'll see you next time.